In this video, we're going to cover the steps to schedule an inspection on a permit or a record. We're in our home page without logging in yet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to log in with our ACA credentials. When we navigate to My Records, we'll see the list of records that is associated with this user ID. And we're going to go ahead and go into this permit in order for us to schedule an inspection. If we hover over the Record Info tab and we click on it, it expands to give us the other options that we have so that we may navigate to the Inspections section. Clicking on the Inspections section brings up the inspections and the link to schedule or request an inspection. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And we're going to get a pop-up that gives us, first of all, the list of the inspections so that we may pick the appropriate one. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and pick a final inspection since the building permit that we originally applied for was a stucco. This is assuming that the job has been completed and now we're requesting the final inspection. When we click on continue, we get a schedule view of what the agency has enabled for the public to request an inspection. So even though we see 3 months here on our calendar, you'll notice that only the next 3 days are activated, the 13th, the 14th, and the 17th. So we're going to pick the 13th because we want the inspection to take place on Thursday. So we only have one option here as far as available times, which is all day. So we click on that and click on continue. Now we have an opportunity to either change the contact information. For example, if it's going to be someone else that's going to be there and not the contractor, then we can go ahead and click on change contact information and we can specify what that information is. Or we can leave it as is and just continue. In this case, the contractor is going to be there. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Now we have before we finish in that confirmation page, we have an opportunity to provide yet additional information or notes for this request. For example, if there is a gate code, this is where we would put the gate code, or if there's a code to access the building or the parking lot or anything else, or if we want to say something like, please call 30 minutes prior to arrival, or something like that, this is the opportunity that we have to enter that information. Once we're done, we can click on Finish. And now our inspection has been scheduled. We can see over here that it says the inspection has been scheduled for the 13th. We have an inspector assigned to that already. And you'll notice that we have an actions link here on the right with that expanding arrowhead that we had talked about before. If we click on that, we can either view the details of this request, we can reschedule the inspection, or we can cancel. So assume that you're doing this at 10 in the morning, you believe that the job is going to be done on that day, so you're requesting an inspection for the next day. But now after 6 o'clock in the afternoon, you've realized you've run into some sort of issue, the job wasn't completed. Even though you had scheduled an inspection for the next day, you need to cancel it. You would simply go in here, cancel the inspection, and it would take it off. In order to see that, I'm going to go ahead and just request another inspection that is a different inspection for the 13th, and we will just see what that looks like. So I'm going to randomly pick a column here, click on continue. And when the calendar comes up, I'm also going to pick the 13th for the column inspection as well. When I click on continue, I'm going to leave the contact information the same. And I'm going to leave additional instructions blank. And I'm going to click on finish. So now you can see that I have 2 inspections scheduled for the 13th. Both of them have been assigned to the same inspector, but now I want to go ahead and change one of them, right? So I'm going to go into the column inspection that I just added. I'm going to click on actions, and I'm going to reschedule it. Or rather, I'm sorry, I'm going to cancel it so that it takes it off the list. You can look at it this way. If you have the column on the 13th, you could reschedule the final for the 14th, or you could just take one out. This is where you have kind of complete control over the scheduling of the inspections. In this case, I'm just going to cancel the column inspection. It's going to ask me to confirm that we are canceling that inspection for the 13th at that address. And I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, cancel the inspection. And you can see that it will keep it on the list of inspections that were added to this permit. It will mark it as completed, but it's really a canceled inspection. So what's going to be happening is as inspections are done, either canceled or completed, they're going to appear in the completed portion of this page. Anything that is upcoming will be in the upcoming section up above. So these are the steps that we need to go through in order to take a look or view the ability to schedule an inspection. Now, we're going to quickly result that inspection on the inspector side, and then we're going to come back to see what a resulted inspection looks like with its information. Let's navigate back to our record since we have resulted that inspection on the back end on the agency side. So we're going to go back to our inspections, and now we can see that here's the inspection that we canceled, which was the column inspection, and here's the inspection that we actually scheduled. We'll see that the result is a correction notice no fee. When we click on view details, we actually get to see what happened, and we can view the result comments that the inspector had. In this case, the inspector added these comments: need to correct ABC, must add XYZ, make sure to secure, etc., etc., etc. So your result comments will appear here, and the rest of the information will be here. You'll see what the inspector was and when the inspection was completed, as well as other pertinent information. You have the opportunity to print this page if you want to. It'll print out on a pop-up window where you can print this for yourself, and make sure that the corrections are there if that is what you need to. And again, that's how you actually view the result of that inspection. So now, because we failed that inspection, we're going to go ahead and request another inspection of the same, and we'll take a look at what a past inspection looks like. I'm going to go ahead and pick a final the same way, and I'm going to schedule this one just for the next day. We're going to keep the contact information the same, no additional information. And now that that has been scheduled, we're going to result it on the back end and then come back here to see what it looks like. So we'll navigate out of the record so that it refreshes. And let's navigate back to our record. Going to the inspection section, we can now see that we have 3 inspections there, and we can see that the last one was approved. The result was an approval. There are no comments associated with it, and that means that the application has passed. So the status of the record still issued because the internal staff haven't closed out this application or this permit yet. But that's the process that we go through in order to schedule an inspection and to check on the status of inspections on the public portal for Pinellas County.